Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. We just want to take a moment to remember that it is Women's History Month, the month of March. And, you know, my colleague Tori Cooper actually took some time to put together a piece on a local woman from here in Atlanta who has really become a behind-the-scenes icon. You may not know her name, but you certainly know the work that she's done. Her name is Jan Smith, kind of known as Mama Jan in the music industry, and she's known within the industry for mentoring, developing the voices of so many talented artists, including Justin Bieber, Usher, and many more. Let's take a look at the life and the contributions, the trailblazing contributions of Jan Smith.
So close your eyes for the stars.
You may not recognize her voice, but you definitely know the voices she has helped craft right here in the city of Atlanta.
Peace up, A-Town down. Yeah! Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it.
Vocal coach Jan Smith, or Mama Jan as she is known in the industry, has worked with some of the most talented voices of this generation.
We got the Usher wall, the Aretha Franklin wall. You know, we got the hats, you know, from Jelly Roll and a few other things. And then, of course, over here is the Justin Bieber corner.
Star after star, hit after hit, Mama Jan and her pitch-perfect technique has kept her at the top of her game.
I'm just a working girl. I never really thought about, you know, blazing a trail. I was really just helping other people. I was just doing something that other people hadn't done before.
Mama Jan has played a significant role in shaping some of the industry's top artists, including a Grammy nomination for the song Justin Bieber performed, Born to Be Somebody. In all, more than 10,000 vocalists, musicians, and producers have turned to Mama Jan for her special brand of tough love, training, and music industry expertise.
There weren't many instructors that were helping other rock and roll singers or urban singers or rappers. And I just got to be the first girl on the block to do that. Being a woman who, I don't have children of my own, but being that mama in the industry, if you will, to so many artists matters a whole lot to me. I mean, I've worked with Usher since he was 17.
Mama Jan's legacy as an inductee in the Georgia Music Hall of Fame is mirrored in the services she offers at her multifaceted business, which is predominantly owned and operated by women.
So I think her story is a part of history. Her story, my story, your story, and women achieving and doing great is great for everybody.
And thanks so much to another incredible woman, Tori Cooper, for putting together that report about Jan Smith. Is something, you know, actually I wasn't really aware, Brooks, until Tori Cooper brought this to light about all the work that she had done. And, you know, there's so much that goes beyond what we see on the stage. Speaking of that, you want to talk a little bit about Jazz Fest.
Yeah, absolutely. But let me just say this real quick, Joy, because we think, or I should say, when we think of Atlanta, we know that there are many artists that come to mind. And we always just assume that they're born with the talent, they develop the talent, and then they get out there, they make all this money being on the stage and whatnot. And while there is some truth to that, there's also the flip side of it where you forget that they probably have somebody behind the scenes that is coaching. So when you hear of Mama Jan, and you're like, she didn't have children of her own, but these became her babies. She's actually like shaped them and molded them. It is really incredible to see. And I can only imagine how proud she is of a person like Usher, who is literally just on the biggest stage in the world, talking about the Super Bowl halftime show. And she's like, that's a part of me right there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be really cool? Okay, so we got to talk about the Atlanta Jazz Festival because it has been announced that Andre 3000, Atlanta's very own, from Outkast, is going to be a part of this major event. So I've had a chance to go out there to the Atlanta Jazz Festival, which usually happens Memorial Day weekend. It's always a major event. It's always something that a lot of people look forward to as well. Now, I will tell you this, because I'm a music lover. I've been to multiple jazz fests around the country, and you've got two different styles. You have the jazz fests that are actually giving you jazz music, or you have the jazz fests that just say they're a jazz fest, but then they have R&B artists and everybody else coming up there on the stage. Well, this is an authentic one for sure. So if you're asking yourself, how does Andre 3000 get involved in all of this? Okay, he's not just a part of Outkast. We can't forget about what he had been doing, the past couple of months or so. He is now a flutist, if you did not know. Wow. So now he's playing the flute and whatnot. So we are curious to see with the New Blue Sun live if he's actually going to be playing the flute. Will he come out with some other instrument that we had no idea he could play? I don't know. That's to be determined right now. But I do want to give you a heads up if you do plan on checking out the Jazz Fest of just when it's all going down. That's Memorial Day weekend, May 25th through the 27th. A lot of people are going to be off work anyway, so you definitely want to check that out. That'll be from 11 in the morning until 11 in the evening. It's always a major time, always so many people out there, so you'll want to partake in that if you can. Giving you just a couple of some of the names that we know that are going to be on that roster. You've got New Jazz Underground, you've got Something Else, you've got Butcher Brown, you've also got Luca Sierra Trio. Never heard of that one, but I know that sounds like it's going to be good. You've got Kells, the Groove Centric, and then, of course, Andre 3000 appears to be the headliner on Monday night, which seems quite fitting for who he is and for what he brings to the table. So this will be the 47th Annual Jazz Festival. Make sure you check it out. Again, this is going to be on Memorial Day weekend. Usually we start to get a little more of a heads up of some of the other acts that are going to be out there on the stage. So if that schedule does change, of course, we'll keep you posted on AtlantaNewsFirst.com and the free Atlanta News First app. Joy, I don't know if you are a jazz lover, but if you're not, it doesn't even matter. Just go out there and check it out because it is going to be a fun time for sure.
Yeah, it looks like an amazing time. I've never been, and I'm pretty new. I've only been in Atlanta for a couple years, but it's something I've heard so many people talk about, and I'm looking forward to it. Okay, one thing that I'm not so looking forward to, but it's something that I think parents need to know, is this issue at a school cafeteria. And you're a parent, Brooks. I mean, your baby is not at that age yet, but
Thank
I mean, I'm
goodness.
sure. Yeah, but I'm sure it's something that being a parent is pretty disturbing to hear what you're going to share with the viewers in case they missed it.
So think about this. There's one DeKalb County school that is essentially under fire right now, and it's because of a health inspection report out of the school's cafeteria. This is Druid Hills Middle School. Now, what I think is so interesting about this, it received a 63 in its inspection by the Department of Health. I didn't even know school cafeterias received health scores. We usually have Atlanta News First, Adam Murphy going around every week to different restaurants and whatnot and checking out some of these places that maybe you eat at that you didn't know aren't as clean as you hoped they were. But again, this is something happening at a school. So right now, or today I should say, you've got a lot of parents who have had to pack their child's lunch because the cafeteria is closed. So it could be another week or so before that reinspection happens, and hopefully they'll be at a better place than where they are right now. But again, receiving a 63 score, which is a failing score, because anything under a 70 is a failing score, according to the Department of Health. But again, this is at Druid Hills Middle School, receiving this failing score. There's even reports, according to what we shared this morning during the morning show, where one of the workers did not wash their hands leaving the bathroom. Disturbing. Not too many other ways you can put that. But yeah, Joy, as a parent, I am so thankful that I don't have to deal with that part of parenthood just yet, because I can't even imagine having to understand that my child has been going to a cafeteria that has apparently not been as clean as these students deserve, and of course as clean as it's supposed to be anyway when you're serving food.
Right, and kids are learning. You're trying to drill into your kids, wash your hands,
Yeah.
wash your hands, and then here are the adults not washing their hands.
So we need to be making sure the adults hear it as well, apparently.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you joining us. And, before we part ways with our viewers, I do want to share this story that, I mean, honestly, I think is so beautiful. How often do we ever just take a moment and just be still, be quiet, really kind of connect with what's going on inside? Meditation, it's truly a form of art. And one woman locally here in Atlanta is actually using meditation to try to help survivors of domestic violence. It's a beautiful thing that she's doing. It is a talent. It is an art. Sawyer Bussey has her story.
It can be as simple as the cup of coffee you drink every morning or the gratitude list you make every day. What are the simple yet meaningful habits that have changed your life for the better? The art of sitting in silence. Sounds like it could be loud. Inside your head, I mean. Barbara Gibson will tell you that's the point.
Watching how my mind works, paying attention to the habits of my thoughts, noticing what sensations are arising in my body, and then meeting whatever arises with kindness.
Meditation is a habit Barbara started cultivating in her 30s.
There's not as much aversion now as there used to be. There's just awareness.
It became a kind of medicine, helping her separate herself from her anxiety.
I feel like I can see what's happening rather than be what's happening.
She says the practice changed her life over time. Barbara works at the Women's Resource Center to End Domestic Violence. She uses meditation and mindfulness with the mothers and children she works with at the Safe House to help them start to realize they're safe now.
And that does not mean that your mind is going to be completely clear. It just means that you're going to be able to watch how your mind is working.
It sounds so simple, sitting down in silence and breathing. But in a world full of distractions, moments of silence might feel strange. It's accessible, though. Healing, even. We can all learn how to move through our days by learning through other people. So my question to you is, what habits fuel your days?
All right, and thanks so much to Sawyer for that report. And if you want to look at that story in more depth and learn more about this meditation, we have it on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, if you haven't done so yet, please download our free Atlanta News First mobile news app, and you can get updates sent right to your phone. Have a great day.